In the heart of the Indian countryside, there was a forgotten railway station known only to a few locals. The station, with its peeling paint and rusting tracks, had been out of service for decades. The locals avoided it, whispering of a curse that lingered over the place. One evening, a young journalist named Raj, eager to make a name for himself, decided to explore the station. Stories of eerie apparitions and unexplained phenomena intrigued him. Armed with a flashlight and his camera, Raj ventured to the desolate platform as the sun dipped below the horizon. The air grew colder as he approached the old station. The silence was broken only by the distant call of a night bird.
Raj set up his equipment and began documenting the eerie surroundings. He noticed strange markings on the platform, old and faded, but still visible in the dim light. As the night deepened, Raj felt a chill that was more than just the evening air. The silence seemed to thicken, pressing in on him.
He heard the faint sound of a train whistle, but when he checked his watch, he realized it was far past any scheduled departure time. Suddenly the ground trembled, and the distant sound of clattering metal grew louder. Raj's flashlight flickered as he turned toward the source of the noise. Out of the darkness emerged an old, rusted train, its headlights piercing through the gloom. It was as if the train had materialized from the shadows.
Raj's heart raced as he saw figures in the train's windows, faint, ghostly shapes that moved as if they were living memories. The train screeched to a halt at the abandoned station, and the doors creaked open. Raj, driven by a mix of fear and curiosity, stepped closer. A chilling wind gusted through the open doors, carrying with it the faint scent of decay. Raj peered inside the train. The interior was as decrepit as the exterior, filled with dusty, cobweb-covered seats. The ghostly figures, now clearer, appeared to be people from another era, their eyes hollow and vacant. Without warning, a voice from behind him whispered, "You shouldn't have come here."
Raj spun around to find an elderly man standing on the platform, his eyes sunken and filled with sorrow.
"What's happening?" Raj asked, his voice trembling.
"This train," the old man said, "is a vessel for lost souls. It returns every night, carrying those who never left their past behind. They are bound to this place, forever reliving their final journey." The realization hit Raj like a physical blow. The train wasn't just haunted, it was a prison for the dead. He turned back to the train, but the figures were now staring directly at him, their expressions twisted in silent pleas for release. Raj's flashlight went out completely, plunging him into darkness. The old man's voice was now a distant echo. The train's doors slammed shut, and the locomotive roared to life. The ground shook as it began to move, slowly at first, then picking up speed. Raj felt a pull toward the moving train, as if it was drawing him in. He fought against it, but his feet felt like they were sinking into the ground. In a final desperate attempt, he reached for his camera and snapped a picture. The flash illuminated the train's interior for a split second, revealing a scene of despair and terror. The photograph, when developed, showed not just ghostly figures, but the anguished face of Raj himself among the apparitions. The train vanished into the night, leaving Raj alone at the desolate station. When he was found the next morning, he was standing frozen at the edge of the platform, his eyes wide with unspoken terror. The old station remained abandoned, but the photograph he left behind told a story that would haunt anyone who dared to uncover the truth. In a quiet neighborhood in Delhi, Meera lived in a charming old house that had been in her family for generations. It was a large, creaky place with antique furniture and intricate tapestries. Despite its age, the house had a warm, comforting feel, except for the attic. The attic had always been a place of unease for Meera. It was dark and cluttered, filled with forgotten relics and dusty furniture. Most unsettling of all was a large, ornate mirror covered with a heavy cloth. Meera had always avoided it, feeling an inexplicable dread whenever she was near. One evening, as a storm raged outside, Mira found herself drawn to the attic. The storm's howling winds and rattling windows seemed to call her. With a deep breath, she ascended the creaky stairs and pulled the cloth off the mirror. The reflection was dim, but revealed a room behind her that seemed to be an exact replica of the attic, except the room in the mirror was pristine, untouched by time or dust.
My breath caught in my throat. The attic I saw in the mirror was unsettlingly perfect, and it was as if someone, or something, was watching me from within it.
As the storm continued, Mira's curiosity got the better of her. She stepped closer to the mirror, her hand reaching out tentatively. The air grew colder, and she noticed a dark shape moving behind her reflection. It was a shadowy figure, indistinguishable but menacing. Suddenly, the mirror's surface rippled like water. Mira recoiled, but the shadow in the mirror began to stretch out toward her. She stumbled backward, her heart pounding. The shadowy figure in the mirror seemed to beckon her, its movements synchronized with her own. In a moment of panic, Mira turned to leave, but the mirror seemed to pull her toward it. The glass felt like liquid ice against her skin as her reflection reached out, and the shadow figure began to emerge from the mirror, its face an eerie void of darkness.
With a final, desperate effort, I broke free from the mirror's grasp and fled the attic, slamming the door behind me.
The storm outside had ceased, leaving an unsettling calm. The next morning, Mira found the attic door ajar. She approached cautiously, only to find that the mirror was gone. In its place was an empty wall. She searched the house, but the mirror was nowhere to be found. The shadow in the mirror, however, had left a mark. Whenever Mira looked into any reflective surface, she saw the dark figure watching her, waiting for the chance to cross over. The house felt different now, haunted by the shadow's presence. No matter where she went, the shadow followed, a chilling reminder of the mirror's dark secret. The old house, once a place of comfort, had become a prison of reflections and fears.